Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Rhiannon. Thank you, Caroline. And yeah, I'm Leonardo Veronesi. I work with ECSA, and I was tasked to present ECSA, the organization, its work, its ties with marine citizen science. And since it's quite late, I will dive into it right away. Please skip the next slide. So ECSA was born in 2014, and it has evolved since from being an informal network of citizen science practitioners to an influential associations in Europe and beyond that supports and advocates for public participation in science. ECSA is a non-profit organization with over 240 members from 40 countries all over Europe, as well as Africa, Asia, Australia, and North and South America. ECSA hosts its conference biannually, which has become a hotspot for citizen science in Europe. The last one we held was in Vienna this past April, marking the 10th anniversary of the association. And the next one will be in March 2026 in Finland. And ECSA recently ECSA was also recently a signatory to the EU Ocean Mission Charter. Next slide, please. So what are the key goals and activities that ECSA does as a citizen science advocate? First and foremost, we want to empower citizen scientists. So ECSA promotes scientific literacy and the democratization of science for citizen scientists. We also provide the European reference point for citizen science through the cross-network knowledge sharing for citizen science participants, practitioners, researchers, policymakers, and society across Europe. We are also providing tools and trainings through our platform, especially, which is the EU Citizen Science Platform. And within it, we support the dissemination of citizen science projects, resources, tools, and trainings. We also have the ECSA working groups. We have the social media channels, of course. We host the biannual conference I was just talking to you about, and more to facilitate the connection and grow within the citizen science community. Last but not least, we also advocate for best practices efforts, and our two landmark works with this are the 10 principles of citizen science and the characteristics of citizen science, which are quite well known across Europe and beyond. Please, next slide. Looking at the numbers, currently ECSA, as of 2024, is working within 18 different projects with more than 230 partners coming from 33 different countries, and we are involved in this project with more than 20 topics. We work in horizon projects mainly. We usually participate as experts in citizen science, as well as community engagement and training. We don't actually do field work, which is left to other scientific partners within the projects. So we don't deal directly with data gathering and management, but rather we do desk research, policy briefs, trainings, etc. Coming to the next slide is a helpful visualization of our network of connections. We are based in Germany, in Berlin. And since we work in horizon projects, we participate in projects that have partners coming from all over Europe. And you can actually see it from the image we are sharing now. And some projects are also reaching beyond Europe, of course. And now we go to the currently active projects dealing with marine citizen science. So in the next slide, you can see the first project we are dealing with marine citizen science in is iMermaid. And the project aims to create, implement, and promote innovative and reproducible strategies for preventing, monitoring, and addressing contaminants of emerging concern in the Mediterranean Sea basin. The focus is on the developing of sensors, and there will be 5 use cases in Europe and beyond. And the 5 use cases in which the sensors will be tested in real-life conditions are Spain, Tunisia, Italy, Cyprus, and Greece. I see I have small time, so I will go faster. And coming to Biagora, Biagora is a project that aims to connect the research results on biodiversity with the needs of decision-making. And the aim is to have targeted dialogues between scientists, other knowledge holders, and policy actors. The main outcome of the project will be the development of a science service for biodiversity, managing processes and initiatives at a science policy interface in the European Union. Demonstration cases will be analyzed to identify the most urgent needs for this science service, among which, of course, marine cases. Practically, what we're doing is analyzing existing projects through desk research and interviews with their coordinators. And the marine demonstration cases focuses on policy commitments to the Biodiversity Strategy 2030 and the Marine Action Plan. For example, to first and foremost legally protect at least 30% of the European seas and strictly protect at least a third of its protected areas, as well as to substantially reduce the negative impacts of fisheries on sensitive marine habitats and species. Coming to the last, but not for importance, project dealing with marine citizen science in which we work in, it's OTTERS, which has a threefold aim, as you can see in the pyramid showing in the picture. First and foremost, we want to promote the best practices and to strengthen the adoption of data standards collection and management collection both in the freshwater and marine domains. We then want to cluster the existing efforts and design spring to sea campaigns, which is a sort of networking the initiatives and scaling them up. And last but not least, we want to change hearts and minds through ocean literacy and awareness. The outputs of this project encompass toolkits for ocean literacy and new initiatives, as well as summer schools for teachers and the creation of the Aquatic Ecosystem ECSA working group. We are in this moment developing the Spring to Sea campaigns that are going to be held in the different projects partners countries, among which Portugal, Italy, and Armenia. And going to the next slide, we can practically see this is the list of the current working groups within ECSA, and the aquatic ecosystem one was the last one that was established. The ECSA working groups carry out strategic work around a particular theme related to citizen science. The membership is open to all ECSA members, and the groups decide themselves which activities to work on. Their achievements and future plans are presented at every annual General Assembly. And since the aquatic ecosystem one was the last one to be added to the list, it was just established in May, and the activities will begin soon enough, hopefully in the coming weeks. And in terms of community, next slide, please. In terms of community engagement, ECSA has a lot of experience engaging and empowering the citizen science community of practitioners, and this is, of course, a useful declaration. And in the projects we work in, we often do so by calling upon our members for contributions, acting on our network of partners within past and present projects, through the development of joint events, always keeping in mind that the collaboration is the key, of course. And in order to create an effective community of citizen science in Europe, we have been developing, next slide, please, the EU Citizen Science Platform. Basically, the platform was developed within the EU Citizen Science Project, which ran from 2019 to 2021 by and for the community. We developed it with keeping in mind that we wanted it to make a place to share knowledge, tools, training, and resources for citizen science. The platform is still currently under development, because it has been taken up by ongoing project, which is the ECS project, which is running from 2022 and will run until 2026, and is coordinated by us, and so that the platform will stay within ECSA at the end of the project to ensure its sustainability in the long term. Currently, the platform hosts more than 340 projects, more than 200 resources and training resources, more than 320 organization profiles, more than 70 training modules, events calendar and blog, platform and community forums, and it has more than 7,000 registered users. And we are currently in the finding a way to sustain it also economically in the long run, because of course it has cost to run it, but this is what we're working for. And this was all. And the next slide, please. This was all. Thank you for your attention, and please make sure to provide me any questions if you're interested. Thank you.